here again. It's all happening here at Capel today. There's a ladies' night down at the tavern, so all the posters, all the signs are up. Ladies' night in big letters, nite, N-I-T-E. Now, I don't know whether the people that wrote those signs think that's a really cute spelling or whether they just can't spell at all, but I don't know about you, I'm really not attracted to adverts that have misspellings in them. And you know, we use the misspellings an awful lot these days, don't we? Let's just think about that for a minute. I've got a few here, like works, love, high, night, of course, right, quick, express, light, cool, easy. You get the message. We do it all the time. Now, I'm not saying we can't use those misspellings, but let's just save them for when it really matters. Why? Because surely the English language is hard enough to learn as it is. And contrary to popular opinion, kids do read and believe what they say in print. If you don't believe me, try having a game of Scrabble with a child sometime and see what they come up with. I think my son once tried to put www. You see what I mean. Now, talking of misspellings, one of the most famous misspellings, surely, of our time is Google. The search engine, G-O-O-G-L-E. Now, when they tried to use that word way back, in the 90s, they actually were after a different spelling of that word, so they misspelt it. They were actually thinking of googol, G-O-O-G-O-L, which is a word for a very big number, 10 to the power of 100. Oh, well, they used the wrong one. But interestingly enough, that same spelling of Google, G-O-O-G-L-E, that wasn't the first time it was used. Way back in 1943, that same spelling was used by none other than Enid Blyton. You see, you thought she was old school, but man, she was way ahead of her time. She used that word in the Magic Faraway Tree. She had Google buns. Remember them? Big buns, and in the middle was like a little raisin, and when you bit through in the raisin, you got a marshmallow. Fantastic stuff. It's all just fun with words, really, isn't it? And one of our clips, ChurchNet, is just fun with words, really. I'll tell you how we came about that. My husband was sitting at his desk one day, probably supposed to be working, but anyway, and he just came up with a thought. He thought, you know, churches are a lot like computers. Yeah, well, when you've been working with computers for a lot of years, you do come up with thoughts like that, but no matter, because we turned that little spark into a great clip. And to add an extra dimension, we even took really close-up shots of different parts of computers so that you can watch it and you can be thinking, what's that part of a computer? And that was to sort of give it that idea of, who am I? What are we talking about here? So if you haven't seen that clip, check it out. ChurchNet, it's called, and it's right here on our website. And if you're watching this e-log, if you're subscribing to it or you're watching this on our website, send me some feedback. You can either email me at elog@scsmmedia.com, or you can fill in the feedback form on our website too. Love to hear from you, and we can answer any questions. Okay, well, I'll catch you next time for some really fascinating, or maybe totally irrelevant facts. I'll catch you then.